Well, Matt calls me, man, he wants to go on this blackbuck hunt. And you know, this time of year, there's not a whole lot of things to hunt. We're in between deer season's ending, turkey season's just about to start, but we're kind of in a dead spot. And that's what's great about Texas. You've got all these exotics. Half of them are free range because so many places got exotics. When exotics got popular, then now they're free ranging everywhere. He says he's got this guy in Cherokee, Texas. And Cherokee, Texas is as big as a minute. It's tiny. You drive through there and you blink, you miss it. But it's my kind of people. You got ranchy people that have cattle and all they like to do is go sit around, drink coffee and work. That's my kind of person, so I said, I'm in. I don't care what it is.
Jeans, cause it's the morning of the day and I need to be working and there's nothing left to say. Well, if I don't bring the bread, then I guess it's shame on me. Well, I need to bring it home and that's the way it's got to be, cause I'm a hard-working man, a hard-working man indeed.
Matt tells me about it. He says, hey man, I'm gonna take Heather down there this weekend. You know, let's see how it is. I met this guy at this little local diner down there and he said he's got black bucks all over his place. They got in there about 12 years ago. And the thing about black buck, they're just like their brother, the pronghorn. They hardly jump fences, and if they get in some of these places, they like it, they stay, and they won't hardly leave that area. They stay in that range. And that's why you see a bunch of, I call them stud piles, but those black buck, they'll make little buck piles because that's their territory and they're very territorial. So they're in this ranch and there's a bunch of them.
Heather is just starting to bow hunt and we're just starting to, get involved in the show. We're pretty excited about it and we're getting to meet all kinds of neat people. Jay's taking us and meeting all these new ranchers and hunters, and that's what it's all about. The people that you meet, and the hunt's just an added part to it. And so we get set to go on this blackbuck hunt down in Cherokee, and so Jay kind of sends us down there to check it out and see what it's like before he wants to come down. So we go down there and Heather's got her bow, and we get to this place and it is great. I'm telling you, we're so excited. We're pulling up, we're seeing blackbuck, and kind of the long story behind this is this guy actually had these blackbuck show up on his ranch about 12 years ago. It's a low fence, but they don't really like to jump fence, and somehow they found the hole and got in, and he just kind of started feeding them, and they flourished, and so they're free range blackbuck. So we're out there with a bow, but these blackbuck are skittish. And we get to talking to the rancher, and he says, there's an old hay barn over there. You might try sitting in that hay barn. They're comfortable with it being there, and we said, that's as good a chance as any. It's hard enough to bow hunt, then film, and I'm a very inexperienced cameraman to say the least. You'll see the footage. So we get some tin snips and cut a little hole out and sit behind the hay barn, and we're ready to blackbuck hunt.
Here we are, Cherokee, Texas, blackbuck hunt. You might would at first glance think this would be a high fence, but it's not. Low fence, wild, exotic animals. We're in a barn set up in a natural blind, ready to get a shot at one within 20 yards.
Here we are, we're sitting in the barn. We're sitting on a hay bale. Heather's got her bow, and she's killed a few things with her bow, but pretty inexperienced. And so, before long, here come the blackbuck, and just like the rancher said, they're not really that scared of that barn. They're kind of feeding out there about 50 or 60 yards, and some does came in first. And the does are right there on us by now, and this buck just kind of comes feeding in. And Heather, she draws her bow back, gets set, and I get nervous. Every time I get nervous. She doesn't get nervous. She's just like she's done it every day of her life. She draws back, smokes this black buck, puts a heck of a shot on him. He runs off, disappears. I think I dropped the camera trying to watch it all. We peek out the edge and he's down 75 yards. He didn't go anywhere.
Just smoked him. It was a little high. Jumped the stream, but he went right over there. We're gonna give it some time to fall. Go check it out and see what we see.
You excited?
Yes.
You smoked.
First blackbuck with a bow.
You smoked.
Shoulder mounted. Already see him mounted on the fireplace in the living room. Best Christmas present ever.
That's a structure that's been there for 50 years. They're used to it, and there's nothing wrong with using the terrain, whether it's a building or a tree or a blind. That's been there long enough, they're used to it. That's what they got in, and that's what they were successful out of. We get back, and Tony Nash is always there for us on the show. You see his boys, the Nash boys, and the show, you know, it features them and me, and Tony's the poor guy that's always stuck behind the camera. He's the one, when we go to catching fish, Tony gets behind the camera. We go to having some success, Tony's behind the camera. So this is one, I said, Tony, I want you to have a chance to shoot one of these blackbuck. Why don't you come, I'll film you and Matt, and you know, if the opportunity arises, I'll hunt.
I finally get to hunt. Jay invited me on this blackbuck hunt, and you know, my boys are usually the ones that get to hunt, and I'm behind the camera, and Jay and I, we've been trying to get together and do a hunt, so this finally come together. Well, there's this rancher in Cherokee that had a bunch of blackbuck on his ranch. He about 8 years ago, I guess they got on his place, and they've just grown, and he's got a lot. And our buddy Matt kind of hooked it up with Jay, and I got invited, and here we went.
So Tony is a die-hard whitetail hunter, and you know, he's the kind of guy that he's my friend, and if I say it's gonna be good, he's gonna jump in. If we're hunting polar bear with popsicles, that's what he's gonna do. We head down there and his boys are giving him a hard time because you think about blackbuck, they're not native to this area, but they are wild and they're in this ranch, and you know they're there, that's about the only thing you have, but the rest of it's wild and they can jump about 3 feet in the air and get away. So Tony goes, he's all about it, throws his bow in, and we head to Cherokee, Texas. We get up there and it's kind of one of those things we're thinking if it goes right, Matt will have a chance to harvest one with his bow. Tony gets to see some next day. Tony and I get after real hard. You know, it works just like this. Matt gets out there and he doesn't have a whole lot of success. And Tony and I are just playing, having fun. And that teaches you right there that when you're trying to make it happen, it generally won't.
This bunch is totally ADD. I mean, I guess we fit pretty good together, but we can't sit still. It's pretty hard to just to sit there. We want to get out and get with it and move around. And I don't know if the rancher really thought it was going to happen. He's spot and stalking. I don't know. He was kind of leery, I guess, for us doing it. But off we went. Matt and Phoenix went off their way, and Jay and I went on another part of the ranch. And man, it just happened. I mean, you kind of set up, you try to get set up there to where you're going to catch the bucks coming through, and we'd set up a while and we'd get some coming through. And I had a couple opportunities, right off the bat. Bucks are quick and they see you, and then they're there 1 minute and gone the next. So it was really a harder hunt. We got really lucky and it turned out really good, but it was a hard hunt. And it's my turn, and Jay's going to run the camera for me. It wasn't our night. Matt was going to hunt that evening, so it was really his hunt that evening because Jay and I were going to stay, the next day and hunt all day, a couple days. So we were just out scouting, really. It wasn't supposed to happen like it did. We got off in there and spotted a couple bucks and just went after them.
It doesn't work out on that black buck. About the time I get the camera on him, Tony moves his foot, he's gone. But it was enough to get our heart rate up. We knew this was gonna be a fun trip. These black buck, they're so fast and they travel from this field to this field, and they're just always seeing who's in their territory. And right about then, we're hiding in this little creek bottom, and here comes one just running by. He's only 10 yards, but to try and hit a moving target running that wide open, it isn't gonna work out. And Tony's smart enough to not take the shot.
I did get to draw a couple times, and that was pretty awesome. Just missed the opportunity. They're a little faster than, than what I thought. And it was really Matt's turn. It was his hunt that night, and so we were walking across the field there into this mesquite flat, and just kind of going back to the truck and gonna wait on Matt, and it just happened, man. We seen this really nice buck over there and fighting with this lure buck. Didn't really know how to do it, or where I needed to be, or how to hunt these things. Really, I didn't know nothing. I'm a whitetail guy, man. I didn't know about the black bucks.
And it's funny, you can see these black buck way out there, and we're bow hunting. You could probably harvest one with a rifle pretty easy because they're not that hard to spot, and you could make a long shot. But with a bow, it's a challenge. You can't get within range. There's no creeping up on them. They know you're there. Two of them go to fighting. So that's our chance to slip up in this mesquite flat and maybe get a shot at one. And we decided, I said, we just need to set up here. It kind of looks like the bucks are fighting over here. The does are on that side of the place, the ones we saw. Eventually, that buck's gonna leave that buck and he's gonna head towards those does. And it happened just like that.
I was trying to get Jay's attention. I mean, I didn't know if we had a call for these black buck or how to stop them, or I didn't know. So I'm talking to him, man. He's not answering me. He's just cameraman, he's in camera mode, and I'm like, Jay, stop him.
Tony's looking at me, he's going, well, how far is he? Well, stop him. Should I shoot? And I'm thinking, I need to get this buck in focus because it's fixing to happen. And about the time I get him in great focus, I hear an arrow wing by my ear. And this black buck's 50 yards.
The buck just stopped on his own, man, just stood there all proud and cool looking, man, and I just drew back at 50 yards, man, and let the arrow go and dropped him right there. It was awesome. Lucky, I'd say, maybe, better luck.
That black buck spins to try and get away, makes a perfect shot. I mean, so perfect that this black buck dropped right there in his tracks, and he's down, and it's like I can't even believe that just happened. Tony can't believe. We look at each other like, did you just hit him? Black buck's down, perfect shot, 50 yards. He just made this shot. That's pretty impressive for anybody. Confidently, he took the shot, and that shows you, when you feel like you can make it, you better take the shot. So now we've got one black buck down, and poor Matt's out there still trying to get one. When we come back, we catch up with the Nash boys, and then see if Matt finally gets his black buck. Don't change that channel. The guys were getting restless, and the girl, so we decided to get the Nash boys and head to Cinnamon Creek Archery Range. Cinnamon Creek Archery Range is one of the largest archery facilities in the country. Situated on 80 acres, it's just north of Fort Worth. The state-of-the-art multiplex simulates real-life hunting situations, and it's a blast to get some guys and girls together and go shoot. The Nash boys cheating, practicing.
Oh no. They got scared when they saw us putting the bullseye.
Guys, we're out here. It's off season. The Nash boys are chilling. Some of us. Oh. Well, it took us a while to warm up, and the Nash boys were putting it on us. Matt and Leanne were kind of carrying the team, and finally I warmed up. Started trying the 14 range. We started to catch up
on that one.
We'll find him. This is a wrist target, and I looked out for the first or second time today and hit it. That's a 14. The circle here is a 12, and we've got a 10, an 8, and if you're out here, you're a 5. If you hit them there, probably a good chance we're not going to recover that animal. But this makes it really fun. Get your accuracy down, and then to put one in the circle like that, that's when you start trying some harder shots and stuff like that.
There you go, Jensen.
The closer.
There you go, Matt.
Well, Well, let's go check our score.
Let's go.
I believe the Nash boys are doing pretty good. I thought it was like golf, but I guess it's not.
No.
This is a great way to get out and get comfortable with your bow and shoot a lot of arrows at some realistic targets. Shooting 3D targets is so much better, in my mind, to shoot than just shooting at a piece of paper. I never hunt paper in the field.
I think that's a 10.
You don't waste no time, do you?
No, when I see my target, I shoot.
Another win.
Jarrett was confused. I walked up to the target. He said I was cheating, but that's what you do when you can't afford binoculars. You walk up to your animal and you decide where you want to shoot it. That's all there is to it. Drilled it.
Nope.
Were you under it?
Good shot. 10. 10. Boom.
That should be it.
I think
That
that's
should
it.
be 14.